Would you say, obviously Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, Peyton Manning, all these records, but would you argue, and I would make this argument, but I want to know what your take is, that you actually have the greatest NFL career of all time with 178 pass completions and $42 million made?
The average NFL career for a quarterback is less than 4.5 years. Chase Daniel's career was 14 years.
I cannot believe that I'm entering year 14.
Let that sink in. 14 years. It was not a remarkable career.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest career ever.
It was not even a flashy one, but it was something that more NFL quarterbacks should aim for, because it had longevity.
We got to start here, right? How does William Chase Daniel, undrafted in 2009, end up with more career earnings than the second overall pick and Heisman Trophy winner of the 2012 draft, RG3, and have a longer playing career than the first overall pick of 2012, quarterback Andrew Luck? How does this happen?
Chase found a way to stay in the league for over a decade without top-end talent, starting only 5 games in his career, less than 2,000 yards passing, 9 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions, yet he beat the average career by 10 seasons.
What did you say?
What?
In this video, I want to address 2 questions. How exactly did Chase do this? And should we view his career as a successful one? Welcome back to Unlikely Success, where I focus on attributes of success through covering celebrities, athletes, and finding stories to learn from. Today, I want to talk about how Chase Daniel has become a backup QB legend.
Ryan Clark, whom I love, RC tweeted out the definition of a blowout is Chase Daniel in the game. And of course, I retweeted with, hold up, man, bow to the king of backup quarterbacks.
To understand Chase's NFL career, we'll start by quickly looking at his college career. Daniel was massively successful at the University of Missouri, where he still owns their passing yards and touchdown records. He had 2 10-win seasons and won 2 higher-profile bowl games. After his senior season in 2008, he would enter the NFL draft, but went undrafted. His 6-foot height and lack of pro-style offense experience made many NFL teams wonder if he would even make a roster.
And I think for me, that was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. I mean, because you go and you're one of the best players in college football, and you're like, what do they not see in me that I see in myself?
Chase would sign as an undrafted free agent with the Washington Redskins, being cut prior to his rookie season even starting. It was not an ideal start to his career, but the New Orleans Saints would sign him a day after his release. He would be part of the team's active roster and practice squad throughout 2009, even earning himself a Super Bowl ring for his role on the team.
What did you say?
What?
Chase would find himself serving as Drew Brees' primary backup for the next 3 seasons. He had now found a way to get himself the average length career for an NFL quarterback. But what he does next would definitely surprise you. Prior to the 2013 season, Daniel would sign his first lucrative deal with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I was a little surprised now to see them sign Chase Daniel, the former Missouri quarterback. He's done very little in his 5 years in the NFL. He is what you can describe as nothing but a backup. The Chiefs had to see something in Daniel that most people around the league failed to recognize.
It was a 3-year, $10 million deal to backup starter Alex Smith. In Chase's first 4 seasons, he had completed 7 of 9 passes for 55 yards and no touchdowns, while never starting a game. His new contract guaranteed him $4.75 million and carried an annual salary higher than his first 4 years of combined salary. Not bad for a quarterback with such limited experience. As an added bonus, Daniel would now be learning from Andy Reid, one of the greatest offensive minds the NFL has ever seen. It cannot be understated how valuable the coaching aspect will be to Daniel's career. Over his 3 seasons with Kansas City, he would throw for 409 yards, his first touchdown pass, and start 2 games, while going 1-1. Chase's next surprising move was to sign a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I've played well, but I think I have just a really good agent.
In retrospect, while at the time this was surprising, it really shouldn't have been, given that the Eagles had recently hired Doug Peterson as their head coach, who had been the offensive coordinator in Kansas City while Chase had spent his time there. What was a surprising move was Daniel asking for his release after only 1 year with the team, due to the Eagles signing Nick Foles.
What did you say?
What?
His request was granted. Wrapping up his only season with the team, Chase had completed one pass for 16 yards.
I will remember you.
He would find a familiar suitor for his services, the New Orleans Saints. His 1-year, $900,000 contract was additional to the $4.1 million he had received from the Eagles. His New Orleans deal resulted in one appearance and no passing attempts. Just to level set, Chase has been in the NFL for nearly a decade, passed for 480 yards and 1 touchdown, carries a 1-1 record, and has made over $25 million. This guy has definitely succeeded, and honestly I might call it here. But wait, there's more. As a free agent in 2018, Daniel would sign a 2-year, $10 million deal with the Chicago Bears.
I'm here, two-part why I'm here. One is to be able to play well when called upon, and two, to help Mitch along.
This guy has got success in the NFL completely figured out. He would find a familiar face with the Chicago Bears and head coach Matt Nagy, who had been part of the Kansas City coaching staff while Chase had spent his time with the team. Clearly, Daniel was excellent at building relationships with his coaches.
Knowing the right people, getting involved with the right coaches that get head jobs.
In Chase's 2 seasons with the Bears, he would start 3 games going 1-2, throw for 950 yards and 6 touchdowns. In another surprising move, the Detroit Lions would sign Chase to a 3-year, $13 million deal after his time with the Bears. He was released after 1 season, throwing for 264 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Daniel's next and final stop would be with the LA Chargers as their primary backup on less lucrative deals of $2 million for each of the 2 seasons with the team. He would throw for 52 yards and 1 touchdown over those 2 years with the Chargers. Over Chase's 14 years in the NFL, he amassed $42 million, played for 6 teams, and continued to find ways to add value to teams. He was an excellent relationship builder, understood the offensive systems he was a part of, and happily played his part as the backup. For most players, it is hard to find themselves in a backup role, and I did not find any reason to believe that Daniel was different in this aspect. But what he did identify was his ability to provide teams an added component by being a great backup. He would regularly see very little playing time, but his willingness to contribute off the field kept him gainfully employed long past an average NFL career. His career earnings created generational wealth for his family, and there is no shame in the path he chose. As fans, we often directly correlate success with stats, but I would challenge this viewpoint. Chase Daniel is a success. He does not have the passing stats to back this statement up, but he does have the bank account for it. He also possessed enough skill to stay signed to NFL rosters, which is a feat in and of itself. We are fans, and we can be brutal towards players, but I think we should be fair on what success in life is versus success on the field. This has been The Unlikely Success.
Tom Brady's made $40,000 per completion. You've made $235,000 per completion.